This will be my third attempt to put this collection onto YouTube. The first two were confounded by receiving a copyright infringement notice. I couldn't understand this, as there are many scores of hours of clips from the two Ronnies programs. This will be my third attempt to put this collection onto YouTube. The first two were confounded by receiving a copyright infringement notice. I couldn't understand this, as there are many scores of hours of clips from the two Ronnies programs on the channel, even including full programs and the full by the sea, etc. However, with the second try, I found that analytics were updated, so now it actually showed me exactly what was unacceptable. And this was the sketch in which Ronnie Barker played a grocery shop owner and Gerrie played his wife. The comedy situation was their attempts to translate the requirements of an Arab customer, played by Ronnie Corbett, who totally mispronounced the items he wished to purchase. Apparently this particular sketch was the only problem in the collection, so I've edited it out. Particularly annoying, as it was one of Gerrie's best appearances, and in fact another version of the same sketch can be found on YouTube anyway. However, this stems from the Ron's appearance in Australia, when Gerrie's role was obviously played by an Aussie actress. As this was not a BBC production, but whatever Aussie television programme, I don't know which one it was, they evidently are not allowed to ban it being shown. One can only surmise that they have decided that there is some political correctness involved with this sketch. Although we are now retired, I'm still naturally very proud of my wife, who, apart from highly successful sidelines as a drama teacher and examiner for several London academies, was for many years known professionally as Gerrie Raymond, a highly trained actress, dancer and singer, and a comedian, leading lady in summer shows, principal boy in pantomimes, and playing cabaret with her own act. Unfortunately, with the exception of a tiny handful, comedy ladies were not really appreciated in the 60s and 70s, and finding an appropriate agent was well nigh impossible. When her friend Bill Pertwee recommended her to his agent, the latter sent her a charming letter apologizing for the fact that he found comedy ladies unnerving, and he just didn't know how to handle them. Well, in the 1980s, she decided to return to her roots as an actress, and so it was ironic that one day, on leaving after a film shoot of a piece called Silent Wedding, for which Ronnie Barker wanted a bunch of comedians for visual gags, and she'd been booked by some general casting agency, Ronnie called across the car park to her, "You're very talented, you should get yourself a good agent," and got into his car and drove off. My wife was thoroughly irritated at this, so I suggested that she write one of her humorous letters to him, complaining about the problems of getting agents to even look at comedy ladies, and perhaps he could suggest an appropriate one. This she did, and received a charming reply in which he stated that he was just as stumped in that area as she was, but saying that he'd like to look at her, and would she care to come to the BBC and audition. She put together a script of comedic, round-the-world linked news broadcasts in order to show off her command of accents and dialects, and together with song, dance, and eccentric dance, she found that she was auditioning in a side room for the two Ronnies and the director, in their lunch break during the shooting of one of the shows. Over their coffee and sandwiches, she said afterwards that they were one of the best audiences she'd ever had. In fact, Ronnie's version of this can be read on page 88 of the authorized biography of Ronnie Barker by Bob McAbes, where he quotes himself as saying, "I think you're marvelous." When she'd finished, they apologized for not being able to spend more time with her, but Ronnie asked her if she was free for a booking in a couple of weeks' time, and in short order she was conducted up to wardrobe by the head of wardrobe, where she was rigged out for her first sketch, The Greek Cafe Owner's Wife, which starts off this sequence. On completion of this, she became a member of what was known in the Beeb as the Ronnie Barker Unofficial Repertory Company, for nearly 10 years playing in many of the shows until Ronnie decided to retire. Gerrie'd always been fond of both the Rons and found them a joy to work with, so a few years later, when this particular biography came out, she was naturally enchanted to find that it included a glowing description of her work by Ronnie B, and she wrote to him to thank him for this. In reply, she received this postcard in which he reiterates his appreciation of her work and amusingly comments on her change of name, which is another irony, as the latter came about because after returning to straight acting, she eventually got a good agent, Vincent Shaw, who later headhunted me onto his books and became a very good friend to both of us. But one day in his office, he announced that he was fed up with mentioning Gerrie Raymond on the phone and being asked, "Who's he?" So she happily agreed to a name change, pulling a forename out of the air and pinching a surname from a copy of Oscar's Importance that happened to be lying on Vincent's desk. She became Leonie Wilde for the rest of her career, which, as an actress under Vincent's guidance, saw her first become one of the top understudies to the stars in London's West End, and then with her own roles at the National Theatre and starring in such national tours as Copacabana and the Pirates of Penzance, etc.
A sketch in which I play the very important part of Casanova.
And I play the rest of him.
Supposed to come and fix you last week, but nobody come. What do you want?
Stick 'em up. Come on, open it too.
He won't open, he's stuck. I sent for someone last week, but they don't come and mend it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's automatic, it's automatic. You press a button, nothing happens. Yeah. They don't make tills like they used to us.
Hold this a sec, will you?
Yeah. Terrible, the things. How's this work? How do you work
Well,
it?
you slide the top back, don't you? What do you mean, Adam? You slide the top back.
He won't slide back.
Oh, not again. That's the second time this week. Oh, I'm supposed to repair that. You slide the top back and it goes... No, I can't think of two things at once. Hang on. Get this thing over first.
Oh, excuse me, mate. Can I have a
Just a
packet of
minute,
these
he's a work. He's a working.
Here. What are you doing with that gun?
It's a belong to him.
Well, what's he doing then?
He's a robber the till.
What is it? Right, we'll soon see about that.
But okay, I'm going to rob a till. Can't get the thing open. I'm not robbing it. Can't get it open.
He's stuck, you see, officer, he's
Oh,
stuck.
yeah. Oh, well, lucky for you then, isn't it? Because I can't get these open.
Here, make some coffee for the gentleman. Make some coffee. How do you like your coffee?
Milk, 2 sugars, please.
Oh, sorry, I'll have a black with one.
Black number one, please. One. Yeah.
It's no work.
What do you mean it no work?
No work is no lot to come on.
Oh, they're supposed to come and fix it last week. What's the matter with it?
Okay, I fix it.
Yeah, well, here, wait a minute. Here, let me hold him while you fix it.
Baby, see. Hey, I've been looking for that. Hey,
Oh,
here. Hold this.
Let me have hold of that for a minute, will you, mate? Yeah, take that.
Hey,
Right.
go away. We close.
Right, now, everybody, stand back.
Oh, the bell. Hold it. Wait a minute. Let me fix the bell. Oh, it's a bell.
No, not there. Here.
They come open, the handcuffs come open.
The urn's going.
Two folks working.
And the deal is open too. It's bloody empty. Why don't you tell me it's bloody empty?
Well, you never asked me, did you ask me?
Well.
Hey, turn that row off, turn it off. Hey, here, here's your handcuffs. Here.
Oh, yeah, Tom, mate.
There's your ring.
Thank you.
There's your
very much.
bambino.
Thank you. Well, the coffee's at work. You want a cup of coffee now?
No, it's a bit late. I've been wasting a bit of time. I've got to get back.
I've got to get going now. No.
Yeah.
Hello. Blinging watch your stock. Blimey. God knows what time it is now. Anyway, here, can I give you a lift?
Yeah, right, just at the clock.
Well, good night, all.
Yeah, all right.
Say, the bell. What's the matter with the bell? Oh, dear. Ah, what do you want? What do you want now, eh?
Now the panda car won't start. Oh, give us a push, will you?
Certainly.
Well, if you thought that lot were ever so slightly odd, just wait till you see what's coming next, as Two Ronnies Day continues with a quintessentially English picnic, where anything that could go wrong does go wrong.
Oh, thank you, darling. Hello, darling. Peter, don't stand there all on your own. I hate this. Come in, Peter. Hamish, this is Peter. Peter Hamish. You two have got so much in common. I must pop off and do my hair.
Doris, look what I found. Told you this place probably used to be a dump. Well, it is a dump. No, probably about it. Real dump.
This letter come from the council, second post.
Oh, yeah, what did it say?
They've refused your permission for your extension.
Would you, Adam and Eve? Well, what a stupid load of councillors they are. Why must they spoil everybody's fun? Man like me needs an extension. Sometimes I wish I was 1,000 miles away from here.
where's he gone? God, I wish he wouldn't smoke them Turkish. Where are you going?
Sorry it's been so long, Doris.
I thought you'd just run down for a paper. You've been gone 3 hours.
3 hours.
The supper's ruined.
Well, that's nothing new, is it?
Run. Come on, get inside. Super feeling for a party, isn't it, darling? The great comedian. Terrific idea. I love it.
It certainly is.
I hereby call upon the foreman of the jury, Mrs. Doris Natwick. Come on down. Mrs. Natwick, do you find Mr. Gerbil guilty or not guilty?
Guilty as charged, my lord.
In that case, I sentence the accused to 20 years in prison. But you played your joker, counsel, so we'll double it up to 40. And that's all we have time for now. But do join us next week, and who knows, you could stand trial for murder, blackmail, and extortion. Until then, it is goodbye to Doris Natwick, Roderick Gerbil, and our champion counsel, Adrian Wigweasel.